I was trying to create this community, but every time I would like get in these groups with women, I'd go down the checklist. I'm like, they have to love business, they have to love fitness, they have to also like drinking wine, they have to also love, they also have to snowboard. I would love if they did summer sports. And then it was like nobody was falling into this category because we're so multifaceted that we have to break our friends up into sections.
For anyone who doesn't want to become a speaker, but wants to build authentic friendships and in a community, because I feel like so many people, especially as we become more virtual and, like the internet just grows and grows and grows, I feel like people just feel so isolated and so lonely and are really like, I constantly get asked, and I'm like, the best person to answer this question is Lori. Because people always ask me, like, Kathrin, how do you like find people out there in the real world and actually meet people, and how do you build like a community where you meet in real life and you trust these people and you connect with these people and you feel like you belong as part of some sort of a circle. And I feel like for human beings, it's like one of our top needs
It
is to feel
is.
connected. And we struggle so much in the mental health sense when we don't communicate and be in community with other humans. So
Mhm.
what are some of your tips? Because like I said, you have a whole book on this. And for anyone who hasn't read A Tribe Called Bliss, please go ahead and read it. It's so freaking good. But for anyone listening on the podcast, like what are some tips and tricks and hacks that you can share?
Thank you so mumuch for that. It was my biggest, you teach what you need the most, and community was what I needed the most, and I didn't understand how to build it. So I think the first important thing for people to hear is that it takes time. It really does. But at the same time, when you look at your life right now, whether you're 30, 40, 50, like really a beautiful community can be built in 2 to 3 years. Like I feel like I've created best friends in like a year's time, but I kind of do the accelerated version, which I'll tell you about that stuff too.
Yes.
You have to do a lot more in person, but man, the connection that you can build dropping in for weekends at a time, even like 2, 3 times a year, life changing, literally life changing. Because it can take a full day to actually crack the like the introverted shell that a lot of us can get. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine like that first whole day, you're almost dropping in with each other. And the second day, you're like, oh, now some of the real stuff can come out. The third day, you're like, oh my God, this is what people talk about where you're comfortable. You can be quiet. Like the real things are coming up. Like you're kind of like allowing yourself to be more you. Like it's so beautiful. And I don't think you can get that until like sometimes the third day. So, okay,
Yeah.
let's work backwards though. Online community is a little bit challenging because we think it's community and you feel connected while you're on, but I find I feel pretty disconnected afterward. I'm like, that was
Yeah.
really nice. That made me feel a little bit better, but
Yeah.
I still don't have those friends that I feel like I can text when I'm like, hey, I'm feeling lonely. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
voice note friends.
Yeah.
Hey, SOS, feeling a little depressed today. Can we jump on a call or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
I do think that that's important to go and, whether that's a mastermind group or group coaching, those things are really important. They're vital. But I'm talking like next level community where you feel really solid in your friendships. One of the things that also helps with this is categorizing friends. What groups of friends are you looking for right now? Do you need more support in your business? Are you looking for more entrepreneurial friends? Or are you someone who's like, man, I feel like I don't have that good girlfriend who maybe I could go on trips with or do activities with. Do you want more of like that type of friend who's going to go with you on vacations and love to explore and love to do a little shopping, things like that? And this is really important, like categorizing who goes in what category. It's important because what's going to happen is we're going to put an expectation on our business friends to be our travel buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have met many women who are my like absolute insanely amazing business friends. We mastermind, we go do mastermind weekends together, but they're not going to be the girl I go to Italy with, eat spaghetti, drink wine, travel, talk about like all the things. Like I actually have some friends who are like, I only want to talk about business. So that is the important differentiator of what type of community are you establishing. And once in a while, you're going to find a girlfriend who's going to be both, but that's a little more rare. But what happens is if we have the expectation in these friend groups and these connections that we're creating, is that we're never going to feel connected to anyone because we're always going to be in a state of expectation hangover, holding them to another standard. And I had something that I call in my book a best friend checklist that I didn't know I had. So I was trying to create this community, but every time I would like get in these groups with this women, I'd go down the checklist. I'm like, they have to love business. They have to love fitness. They have to also like drinking wine. They have to also they also have to snowboard. I would love if they did summer sports. And then it was like nobody was falling into this category because we're so multifaceted that we have to break our friends up into sections. So let's just talk about entrepreneurship, because right now I think there's a lot of people who would love to be like have a running partner, a similar business or in their business, and feel like maybe someone to hold them to a new standard. In the entrepreneurship friendship world, like building that community, I have always had to pay to really find those friends. Because if I want an up-leveled friend who has high standards and is going to hold themselves to that, it's hard to just find those people online. A
Yeah.
lot of times, or we'll go to people who are like 10 or 20, like notches ahead of us. Like they're so much further in their career. That's not going to be your running partner. They're way too far ahead of you. Unless you have a lot of value to offer them. What we want to find is people who are in a similar place as you, so that you guys you're in a fairly equal place where, it's not like a mentor that you're trying to get into your life. Like that's a very different energy and a very different conversation. So I've always gone into rooms where those people have paid their way, because money is a tangible, energetic promise. It's like it says not only to yourself, like you're going to show up for this thing and you're going to show up in a certain way and you're going to show up. It's going to pull your higher self out of you. That's what money does. It literally is that energetic, like promise to the universe. But that's what the other people are doing too. So they're going to show up. They're going to want to show up for you. Like they're going to show up as their higher selves. So you and I met in a mastermind. I mean, it's like how we came together. It's like how we started to know of each other. And we paid a lot for that mastermind.
Oh,
and I
yes.
promise you, I showed up in a very different way in that mastermind because energetically we put so much money down. And I know that you did too. And it was like, this girl is serious about her business. These people in this room are serious about their business. If I say, hey, let's meet once a month and talk about our business, I can guarantee she's not going to be late for that call and she's going to show up. Where when I just chose people online, because I did a whole crazy experiment for years before this too, that I talk about in the book, like a lot of people flaked. A lot of people didn't show up. A lot of people didn't follow through with their goals. So I was kind of like, see, it's hard. There aren't those people out there. And so I do believe in that world, you're going to have to go and pay to be in a mastermind or go to an event, or you can even join some group coaching online and take it offline, right? Like go try to meet once a month, whatever that looks like. So that's really how I've made a lot of my entrepreneur girlfriends. And as you get more into the world and you start getting invited maybe to speak on podcasts and stages and things like that, that's when you can start making those friends without having to necessarily pay for them.
Yeah. What did you say? Money is an energetic promise, or it's how you said it was just so genius. Can you say that again?
I think I said
money
is an energetic promise to the universe.
Yes, that is so fucking good.